You just drove it off the lot. The engine rumbles. The leather smells brand new. You're sitting up high, windows down, feeling like you made it. And then your phone buzzes. It's your bank. Your first payment is due in 30 days, $847 a month, for the next 72 months. You do the math and your stomach drops. That's $61,000 for a truck that's already worth $8,000 less than what you paid for it. Welcome to the trap that over 80% of pickup truck buyers walk right into, and almost none of them see it coming until it's way too late. I'm going to show you exactly what happens to your money when you finance a pickup truck, why dealerships absolutely love it when you do it, and what the smartest buyers are doing instead. Stay with me, because the last part of this video is going to completely change how you think about buying a vehicle forever. Let's start with a number that nobody at the dealership is going to volunteer. The average price of a new pickup truck in 2024 crossed $58,000. Not a fully loaded luxury SUV, a truck, a vehicle that for most of its life will sit in a parking lot outside a grocery store or an office building. But here's where it gets really interesting and a little bit painful. When you finance that $58,000 truck, you're not paying $58,000. Let's say you put $5,000 down. You're financing $53,000 at today's average auto loan interest rate of around 7.5% over 72 months. You're going to pay over $14,000 in interest alone. That means the real price of your truck is not $58,000. It's $72,000. And before you say, okay, but I can afford the monthly payment, that's exactly what the dealership wants you to say. Because monthly payment thinking is the most expensive way to buy anything on the planet. Let me explain why. When you walk into a dealership and a salesman asks you, what kind of monthly payment are you looking for? That is not a friendly question. That is a carefully trained sales tactic designed to make you spend more money. The moment you answer that question, you've just handed them full control of the negotiation. Because now they're not selling you a $72,000 truck. They're selling you a $700 a month feeling. And feelings are much easier to sell. They'll stretch your loan from 48 months to 72 months. Then to 84 months, 7 years of payments. And your monthly number stays the same, so it feels fine. But the total you're paying just went up by thousands of dollars. This is called payment packing. And it is perfectly legal, and it happens every single day in every dealership across the country. But that's just the beginning of the problem. Here's the part that most people don't find out until it's too late. The moment you drive a new truck off the lot, in the first 60 seconds of ownership, that truck loses somewhere between 10% and 15% of its value. On a $58,000 truck, that's $8,700 gone before you even reach the first traffic light. By the end of year one, most new pickup trucks have lost between 20% and 25% of their value. By year three, you're looking at a 40% to 45% depreciation hit. So you financed a $58,000 truck. 3 years in, it's worth maybe $32,000, but you still owe $38,000 on the loan. You now owe more than the truck is worth. This is called being underwater, or upside down on your loan. And over 30% of people who trade in a vehicle are in this exact situation. And here's the cruel twist. When you go to trade it in or sell it, you still owe that difference. So now you're either stuck keeping a truck you don't want, or you're rolling that negative equity into your next loan. You're paying for a truck you no longer own, on top of the payments for the new one. It's a cycle. And once you're in it, it is incredibly hard to get out. Now let's talk about insurance, because this part almost never gets included in the monthly payment conversation. When you finance a truck, the lender requires you to carry full coverage insurance. That's not optional. They own the collateral. They decide the coverage. Full coverage on a new pickup truck, depending on your state, your age, and your driving history, can run anywhere from $200 to $400 a month. Add that to your $800 loan payment and you're looking at highly $200 a month just to own this truck. That's $14,400 a year. Over 6 years, that's $86,400 on a truck that by year 6 might be worth $18,000. And I haven't even mentioned maintenance, tires, fuel, or registration fees. When you add everything together, the full true cost of ownership, a financed pickup truck can easily cost you over $100,000 over the life of the loan. $100,000 for a truck. Let's talk about opportunity cost, because this is the concept that separates people who build wealth from people who wonder where their money went. That $847 a month you're sending to the bank, what if you didn't? What if instead you invested that $847 every single month into an index fund averaging 10%? Annual return, the historical average of the S&P 500. Over 6 years, you wouldn't just have $61,000 back. You'd have over $82,000. That's the real cost of financing a depreciating asset. It's not just the money you spend. It's the money you never get to earn. Every dollar you send to an auto lender is a dollar that is not working for you. It's working for them. The bank is not financing your truck out of kindness. They're doing it because it is one of the most profitable things they do. You're the product. Your debt is their income. Now here's something the dealership really doesn't want you to know. There is a massive, thriving market for used pickup trucks. Specifically, 2 to 4-year-old trucks with 30,000 to 50,000 miles on them. These trucks have already absorbed the worst of the depreciation. The original buyer ate that 40% drop in value. Now you get a truck that is functionally almost identical to a brand. New one, same engine, same features, same reliability, for a fraction of the price. A 3-year-old Ford, F-150 or Chevy Silverado that's sold new for $58,000 can often be found for $32,000 to $36,000 in excellent condition. That's $20,000 to $25,000 in savings on the same truck, just with a few years and some miles on it. And modern pickup trucks are built to last 200,000, even 300,000 miles with proper maintenance. A truck with 40,000 miles on it has barely been broken in. Buying a 2 to 4-year-old used truck with cash, or with a very short loan that you aggressively pay off, is one of the single smartest vehicle purchases you can make. But let's go one step further. Let's talk about what the truly financially intelligent buyers are doing. They're not financing. They're saving. Here's how it works in practice. Instead of making $847 payments to a bank, they make $847 payments to themselves into a dedicated savings account or money market fund every single month. They drive a paid-off older truck or a cheap, reliable car in the meantime. After 18 to 24 months, they have $15,000 to $20,000 saved. They use that as a large down payment or a full cash purchase on a quality used truck. No interest, no lender, no insurance minimums dictated by someone else. Full ownership from day one. The truck doesn't depreciate for them the same way, and because they don't owe anything on it, they own it. And when they sell it, that money comes back to them. Not to a bank. This is how people who actually build wealth think about vehicles. A car or truck is not an investment. It is a tool, and you don't finance your tools at 7.5% interest for 6 years. I want to be fair here and address the counter-argument. Because you might be thinking, but what if the dealership offers me 0% financing? It's a fair question, and occasionally those deals do exist. But here's what actually happens in most cases. When a manufacturer offers 0% financing, they usually require excellent credit, 740 or above. They often remove the ability to negotiate the price, and they eliminate cash rebates that could have reduced the purchase price by $2,000 to $5,000, so you're not really getting a deal. You're paying a slightly higher price with no flexibility, and they're making their money on the back end through dealer holdback, F&I products and accessories they tack on in the finance office. The 0% offer is a marketing tool. It makes you feel like you're winning. And while you're feeling good about the interest rate, they're already making their margin somewhere else. The house always wins, unless you know the game. Let me leave you with this. There's a reason dealerships have massive, beautiful showrooms with soft lighting, new car smell pumped through the vents, and salespeople trained in emotional sales psychology. There's a reason they want you behind the wheel before you've talked numbers. There's a reason the finance office is at the end of the process, when you're already emotionally committed, already in love with the truck, already imagining it in your driveway, because they know that the more attached you are, the less clearly you think about money. They're not selling you a truck, they're selling you a feeling, and then they're charging you 7.5% annual interest on that feeling for the next 6 years. The people who win in this situation are the ones who come in prepared, who knows the numbers before they step through the door, who understands that the monthly payment is a distraction and the total cost is the only number that matters. They're the ones who've already decided what they're willing to spend, who've shopped the used market, who've gotten their own financing pre-approved before they even walk in. So the finance office has no leverage over them. They buy a truck on their terms, not the dealers, and then they drive away with thousands of dollars still in their pocket. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone who's thinking about buying a truck right now. You might save them from a 6-year financial mistake. And if you want to know exactly how to walk into a dealership and negotiate like a professional, step by step, That full breakdown is coming in the next video. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. I'll see you there.